Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Actually, welcome to me back to my channel. What I'm trying to say is that I haven't posted in a few weeks. It's been like 4 weeks or something since I did this little bookcase renovation behind me. For those of you that don't know, I actually do some work on the side as like a spokesperson essentially. So I make videos for other companies and I appear on screen for them. So sometimes I get really big projects that I have to do, and that's what happened. So I've been working on that for the last few weeks, but I just wrapped it up and now I'm back to share more DIY projects with you. And it is like 91 degrees outside today, which is really hot for Connecticut this time of year, and I'm sweating, but we're gonna get through this. And I thought what better time to share some summery projects with you, because even though it's hot, I still like to kind of decorate my home for the summer season and make it feel really cozy and fresh. And I just wanna share a couple of things that I've been doing lately to kind of bring in that feeling to my home. Okay, so the first project started out with a trip to Trader Joe's, which can be a dangerous thing. That's one of my favorite places, but I was looking for baby's breath that day. If you're looking for fresh flowers, I highly recommend going to Trader Joe's or like a local grocery store that carries fresh flowers, because they have such beautiful options, lots of fillers and greenery, and you can really buy just a whole bunch of different flowers and combine them and make some stunning floral arrangements at a very affordable price. I started by just separating out all of the stems. They're all kind of bunched together, so I took some time to carefully pull them apart and lay them out on my workspace, which in this case is my kitchen counter. You'll see that there's usually one large stem with a few smaller ones coming off of it, and I found that this project worked best when the smaller stems were cut away from the biggest one. You want to leave a few inches of stem at the bottom, so don't cut them too short, and like I said, make sure you are cutting them at an angle because that's going to help with the next step. I gathered up as many glass jars as I could find. I'm just using mason jars here, but you can really use any size and any type of jar. So if you have a food jar, like a spaghetti sauce jar, just wash it out and it will be perfect. I added about 1/3 cup of water to each jar, and then I grabbed some various colors of food coloring. I experimented with a bunch of different colors as well as how many drops of each one worked the best, and I found that about 8 to 10 drops of darker colors like blue, purple, and green seems to give the most pigmentation. Once I was happy with the colors, I started adding in the stems one by one. You want to make sure that the bottom of the stem is fully immersed in the water so it can absorb as much color as possible. I wasn't actually sure how long it was going to take for me to start seeing color in the actual flowers, but even after just a couple of hours, I could see a tint of blue coming through on some of them. I decided to let them sit overnight because I wanted them to be really colorful, but again, this is a personal preference and something you can definitely experiment with. The next day, I was so excited to see that most of them were looking very vibrant and beautiful. Like I said, the blues and the purples were perfect. The pink was the least vibrant, and I really wanted my final bouquet to have some pink in it, so I thought I would try another little experiment. I grabbed a tray and lined it with some paper towels. Then I removed the flowers from the jar and flipped them upside down and dunked them right into the food coloring and water. I knew that this wasn't going to absorb into the flowers completely, so I laid them down on the paper towel and let the excess drain off. This actually worked pretty well, and it was a little bit more colorful than I wanted. I preferred the way it looked when it was pulled up from the stems, just a bit more of a subtle color, but I really wanted some pink flowers, so this did the trick. I think that these are just so delicate and bright and beautiful and fresh, and just a really wonderful way to bring color into your home for the spring and summer, and especially if you're decorating like a tablescape for a get-together, these would be so pretty scattered on the tablescape in little jars or as one large centerpiece. So I definitely recommend trying this one out. And if you have kids, this would be so much fun to do as a little experiment with them. I think they would really enjoy it. Now, I don't often share recipes on my channel. I used to do that a while back, but I haven't in a while. But when there's a recipe like the one I'm about to share, I just can't keep it to myself. I want to share it with everybody. So this is something I've been wanting to try actually for a few years now, and that is to make these little mini hand pies, because if you like pie like me, and pie feels like a very summery thing to bring to like a picnic or something, You just have to try these out, just trust me. So the other day I was craving something a little sweet and I wanted to make something summery, so this is how this recipe came about. I thawed a frozen pie crust and I removed it from the tin that it came in. Then I very lightly rolled it out. You don't want to thin the crust really, but mostly just flatten the edges for the next step. I used a flower-shaped cookie cutter and this one is pretty big, so it's the perfect size for this project, and as always I will link it down below for you guys. I pressed it down pretty hard into the dough so I would get nice crisp edges, and you will definitely have dough left over from these outside areas, so you can just roll it back out and cut even more shapes or refreeze it and save it for another recipe. I laid all of the flowers out on a silicone baking mat, and then I used this, well, it's actually a little spout for wine bottles, but if you have anything circular that's hollow, it will work to make these little circles in the middle of half of the flowers. For the filling, I just used a simple strawberry preserve, but this is where it gets fun because you can pick any type of preserve or jam that you like, or make a whole assortment with different fillings. I added just enough to fill the centers of the flowers without it spilling over onto any of the petals. Now this next part is optional, but I personally think it really makes the recipe. I cracked 1 egg and whisked it. Then I spread a thin layer of it around the areas that didn't have jam on them. This is going to give you the flakiest golden brown crisp, and it is amazing. Then I added the tops of the flowers and used a fork to press down on each of the petals and seal the edges together. Lastly, I added a bit more of the egg wash to the tops because, like I said, you cannot beat the golden crisp that it gives these little pies. I popped these in a 350-degree Fahrenheit oven and set the timer for 20 minutes. Let me just say, the smell that was coming from my kitchen was incredible. I peeked in on them at one point and they were bubbling, and I was like, okay, this is going to be my new favorite treat to make this summer. Once they were cold, I felt like they needed just a little something extra, so I grabbed a strainer and some powdered sugar and gave them a generous dusting, and I think that was a great choice. Had to do a taste test, of course, and these were a 10 out of 10. 2 thumbs up, you must try this recipe, and they disappeared in approximately 8 minutes. I would say like they were just devoured in this house, and there's only 2 of us, so that's saying a lot. I would definitely recommend you guys try these out. They kind of just remind me of my favorite days of summer, especially when I was a kid, having little picnics, and they're really fun to have if you want a cute little treat but you don't want to commit to making a whole pie. It's just a really fun option, and again, I think it would be super fun to make with kids or to make for a little picnic outing. So cute, cozy summer treat. Highly recommend you guys give it a try. Okay, let me know in the comments down below which one of these 2 projects you guys liked the best. Was it the flowers or the little mini pies, or maybe it was both? Just let me know in the comments down below. And if you do try any of these out, make sure you tag me on Instagram because I love to see your recreations. It just makes my day. If you're not subscribed to my channel, make sure you are. Hit that little notification button so you get notified whenever I upload a new video. Thank you for bearing with me on this little break that I took the last few weeks. I just needed a little time to sort things out. So I am back now to make videos for you all summer long. Can't wait. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you soon.